In this video, I will discuss the priority value of learning objectives than the instructional objectives, as well as the purposes and significant qualities of various assessment instruments. I will also introduce the formulation of vision, mission, goals, and objective. This discussion aims to develop broader understanding and appreciation on the significance of these skillfully designed educational purposes. Educational institutions, like any social organization, exist for a single or various purposes. Regardless of the depth and breadth of their purposes, one thing is clear that they spell them out in their vision, mission, goals, and objectives. Born out of a single or combination of educational philosophies, inherent in every educator or higher education authorities, schools are instituted with philosophies that mark the kind of quality education paradigm they desire from their graduates. From these philosophical grounds embedded in their educational program stems the vision, mission, goals, and objectives. Philosophy. Philosophy is the major power that steers the formulation of the vision, mission, goals, and objectives of any educational institution in all levels. Next, we have vision. This is the first but the broadest and longest range statement of educational purpose. This requires an institution to make the best dream of all dreams for its kind of graduates or institution itself. This statement is the hardest to measure yet can be foreseen, most difficult to perceive yet can be described. It shows an abstract picture of the product that speaks thousands of words that any educator can think of. This is usually embedded in their phrases, themes, slogans, and chants, their own styles. For example, a school for world-class technicians. Another example, a venue for academic excellence. And another example, where a global cutting edge for advanced technology is. So that is vision. Next is mission. This statement of purpose attempts to reduce the vision into an embossed picture that portrays the major intention of the institution. Usually, this is descriptive of the kind of education that may be distinct from others. For example, considering the aforecited visions, a school may formulate the following missions. For the vision number 1, this will be the mission. This school shall be the leading training ground in producing technicians that match the world's employment market. For vision number 2, a university ensures that graduates shall excel in various educational fields of discipline. And for the third vision, this can be its mission. The college shall be the premier international provider of technologies whose expertise is beyond compare. So that is mission. Next is goal. This purpose-leading statement is a translation of the mission where a halfway description of institutional purpose is becoming clearer and more definite. This statement is leading to a more purposive action that demands careful exercise of managerial functions of planning, organizing, structuring, implementing, controlling, evaluating, and reporting. It must be noted that evaluating is an integral function of any educational institution and where assessment is a prerequisite. Goal differs from aim in terms of expression, the corporate or educational purpose. The goal contains some statements that holistically describe what the school wants to produce, while the aim focuses on the process and means of attaining the goal. For example, considering the mission in example 3, the college shall be the premier international provider of technologies whose expertise is beyond compare. The goal may be formulated as the college shall endeavor to train the students in becoming world-class experts in various technological areas and imbued with desirable work values and habits that are descriptive of global competence. So that is goal. Next, objective. This purpose statement is the most clear and definite. It is usually composed of two statements, namely general and specific. The general objective defines the leading statement to the specific. For memory aid, in its formulation, it may carry the acronym of Spartans. S stands for specific, where the purpose is very clear and definite. P for perceivable, the result can be captured by human senses. A for attainable, the result can be achieved in a given material and human resources. R for relevant, the output is important and contributory to the vision. T for time-bounded, it can be finished in a given length or unit of period. A for accessible, where results can be quantitatively and qualitatively analyzed and interpreted. N for necessary, where the result resembles the marked difference than the previous. And S for serviceable, where the purpose demands effective tasks and actions. For example, given the aforementioned goal, the school may formulate this objective. After a 2-week-long discussion, a minimum of 75% of the students may be able to learn at least 80% of the learning continuum in Mathematics 1. Specifically, they are able to develop knowledge, appreciation, and solving skills in the following topics. 1. Reading and conversion of fractions, decimals, and percent. 2. Addition of fraction and decimal. 3. Subtraction of fractions and decimals. 4. Multiplication of fraction and decimals. And 5. Division of fraction and decimals. So we have here the forward-past dependence of these educational purposes expressed in different stages as illustrated here. So from abstraction to concrete level of learning outcomes and from theoretical to practical applications of learning. The figure shows the metamorphosis of educational purposes from educational philosophy to learning objectives. It explains that vision is a creation of philosophy and is the basis of formulating a mission. This figurative presentation reveals cognition or abstraction to a clear and practical purpose of teaching and learning. and from program to projects and tasks. It depicts the generation of objectives for student learning from philosophy in which the school or organization exists. Many educators are likely or interchangeably use these two terms in teaching profession. Although both terms have similar connotations in field of education in some ways, but they differ in the point of focus and preference. Although both learning and instructional objectives are educational in nature, their difference can be gleaned as follows. For learning objectives, this kind of objective focuses on the learner and learning process as a unique individual with different ability to grasp knowledge and skills through an interaction with a supportive and wholesome environment. It concentrates more on the results of optimizing the growing individual with potentials for knowing self before other and for good. This objective is on the learning outcomes or acquired learning. On the other hand, instructional objective, the focus of this kind of objective is improvement of instruction and the development of the knowledge and skills of teaching. So it gives preference to the ability of the teacher on the delivery of the means for group learning. This objective centers on the process of acquiring learning outcomes or learning. So that is the educational purposes and domains. Thank you for watching and I hope you have learned something.